Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special edition of Love, Death, and Taxes, a special edition of Long Island's Greatest, a special edition of anybody who's a fan of Agnes Amisano. It's showing up on LinkedIn right now. Uh, we are here to talk about and speak to author Agnes Amisano about her new book called Seven Rings, One Love. Uh, Agnes, I keep saying this. I'm sorry. I keep saying it. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud that you actually
Thank
got
you.
this done. And when I finished reading it, I was like, not only is writing a book a difficult thing to do, right? And I enjoyed it. That was great. That's great. But the subject matter is very personal and very specific. And that, in and of itself, the courage required to do that would also have probably stopped me in my tracks. There are things in my life I'm not particularly proud of, um, or that I'm just like, I don't need everybody to know that. And that would have stopped me from doing things. And I feel like you have, yes, you've protected people at the same time, but you also, like, said, here I am. This is me being open. I'm going to say welcome, but it's our show, so we've been on it forever.
Thank you
How
for
are you?
having me on your show, Mr. Ryan Williams.
Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Agnes, all
I
right.
feel honored to be here. Thank you.
Great, great, great. Okay, so straight up, let's start from the beginning. Of course, it's your life. It's sort of a biopic. But why did you decide you had to write a book? You had to write a book about your life.
Why I decided to do this very public confession, right?
Okay, if you want to look at it like that, that's a good
It
question.
kind of is. It kind of is. It's very raw. It's very. I believe it's easy to read and easy to understand.
Yeah,
But why? For a very long time, I was not ready to talk about a lot of things, a lot of issues.
yeah,
Um, from the beginning of the book, the things that took place, I was told when I was growing up that you have to forget about it, that
yeah,
it happened. You have to understand, you have to just sweep everything to the side, forget it, and it's not so easy.
yeah,
When things were done to you, especially because there are two parts I recognize in my life: the things that there happened to me and
yes.
the stupidity that I made, that I
Well,
did. Let's be straightforward.
okay.
Uh, we not, you don't have to be calm. You don't have to be. I know what I did.
Okay, okay.
So for the part that was done to me, that it actually happened to me,
Right.
I decided not to be a victim of circumstances, not to decide decided not to be a victim of life or somebody's actions. And I have noticed that people that are close to me, that it happened to them as well, very similar way or the same thing. So
Right.
very similar, very close to it.
Right. Right.
And they are not talking about it, they didn't process that. Even in an older age, it becomes a problem, bigger and bigger. Instead, forgetting and minimizing that becomes a bigger issue, a bigger problem, and is destroying them on the inside. I didn't want to become that person.
Right.
So actually, I talk to people that I trust. Um, find out that, guess what? Something similar happened to them, and they've been having problems as well in life. And then going forward, I met different women, different friends, acquaintances throughout my life. And we shared our experiences when we became closer. And I have noticed that a lot of women, especially women, crumbled after one heartbreak, crumbled after one um, betrayal.
Right.
that they crumbled. They were not able to stand up and say, you know what, I'm stronger than this, and I have to keep going. And this is what I heard when when I sat down with someone. I said, well, listen, this and this happened to me. I made it. You can do it. This is what I did. This is what you can do. And over 2 decades, I heard, you know what, you should write a book. You should write a book. You should write a book. So I started. It was over 10 years ago that I started.
Wow.
And Ryan, that was a turmoil. And every time I wrote something, it brought memories back.
Yes.
And then it affected me emotionally and personally. I have to step aside. I have to digest all those feelings. I have to digest all the experiences. I had to cry all over again. This time I cried not because of what happened, I cried over my stupidity. Because again, I do refuse to be a victim of a circumstances.
Right.
I made those decisions that put me in those situations. When it comes to going through marriages, of course, I don't really know people that they go into marriage and saying it's going to be a project. Well, maybe I did attempt once. That's going to be a project for 2 years, 5 years, and then I move on. No one wants to waste their life. No
No.
one wants to start over again. No one wants
No.
to build something and keep going through heartbreak and betrayal and lies and divorces and expenses. Usually, when two people will get together, say, "Okay, we in young age building. Let's build life together, right? Let's build family together."
Right.
And we are coming into this with excitement, with plans. And okay, when you're, let's say, 25, if you're working together, you have a plan, you're saving together. In the next 25 years, when you're 50, your house is paid for, kids are in college, and you're starting the second part of your life secure, happy, different. Guess what? 50% of the time that doesn't happen.
You know what's beautiful is you're saying it like that. You know, especially as a young person, if you're a person filled with hope, because this happens, right? People in America, a lot of them are filled with hope. You think everything's going to be fine. You think there is a Cinderella story or Cinderella story, either way,
Mhm.
out there waiting for you. And the truth is, life is not that easy. It's difficult. You actually have to put in a certain amount of time. I'm not saying you put in, say, okay, this is going to be a starter marriage. We're just going to do this for about 5 to 6 years. And I don't think anybody, well, most people, go into a relationship thinking like that. And you most certainly didn't. Your thing was you always had hope. You thought, oh, it's going to get better. This is going to be great. What ended up happening is, and I'm not trying to give anything away, people, but clearly there are 7 rings. There are there are just people who are flawed, and that's part of what the planet is. You know what I mean? That's what we are.
I
Well, a
keep
lot of us are
falling
flawed.
on my face.
Yeah.
I keep falling on my face, not only on my behind. I keep falling on my face.
Okay, okay. If you want to put it like
Let's
that, you
call it
can.
the way it was.
But
Let's call it the way it was. There is, see, from coming from different people, coming from different backgrounds. That's
Mhm.
one thing. Different cultures, different approach to life.
Yes.
I was not prepared for any of that. Majority of young people hear things. People are getting sick throughout the relationship. There are addiction problems. There are infidelities. There are other issues in life that you hear the story about it,
Yeah.
but going into a marriage, no, that's not going to be me. That's
Yeah.
not gonna be me.
Oh,
I'm gonna have everything great. Everything's gonna go
so they have
fantastic
fun.
way.
Yes.
No one prepares you for mental illness. No one
For
prepares you for fights with
the,
a lot of other issues.
yes.
And I think all this life experience that I went through, I take that as a blessing now
Yeah.
because it made me stronger. I keep repeating that under the phrase "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger" should be my picture.
Yes. And by the way, you can literally see that. Like you're not going through these situations as a deer in headlights. You very slowly, and you can see even as the book goes along, you can see your being more cautious because you've had a situation and it keeps on, and that ends up being the case, I mean, for everybody. And you said, you hinted at that before, that some people, to give up after the first or the second relationship that just doesn't go the way they thought it was going to go. Personally, yeah, I think it's difficult to say, okay, I'm going through a divorce and whatever. Do I ever want to have this feeling ever again? No, you don't. You don't. And you feel as though, okay, I've wasted 20 years of my life with this person. Why the heck would I ever choose to do it again? But in a way, you know what's crazy? By doing it very quickly, you eventually go through all the frogs to find your prince. So it's kind of like you have to actually, ladies and gents, you have to read this book because you're you are in it. You're in it. Everybody is in it. Somebody you know is in this book. Somebody you've dated is in this book. Even though there's it's mainly around Agnes, there are other people in this book, like that woman you used to work with in the real estate office. Oh my gosh.
Barbara, we call her Barbara.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And I
Yes.
know that woman. I know that woman. I don't know her, but I know her. And guys, you gotta check. I'm trying not to see anything, but that person exists. Agnes exists. Agnes exists in different versions of herself going through the book. But all those dudes, I knew every one of those dudes. Maybe, maybe some of them hid things behind doors that I would not have expected, or I might know them, but not know that they're doing those things behind closed doors. By the way, wow.
Was I
Oh my
blessed or what? Was I
god.
blessed or what? Yes.
Oh my gosh. You guys gotta check it out. It's amazing. How do you feel your own self-love shows up in the story though? There's an amazing amount of, oh my gosh, realization at the end where you're no longer, and I think people say this all the time, they say you become an adult when you actually stop blaming your parents for your life's problems. And that happens in the book because there is a very powerful relationship between yourself and your mother, and it happens at a certain time. So how do you feel about that?
The moment of forgiveness um, was quite difficult to achieve, but extremely needed. And what surprised me that I realized that I need to forgive myself first, then forgive her. Although I spoke to other friends that they read it and they were surprised with that action, but there was no other way. There was no other way. The self survival instinct will tell you what you need and what do you have to do to be able to move on. You cannot go on into the future carrying things, carrying burdens of that degree till
Yep.
the end of your life.
Yep. Yeah.
For me, um, you know, from the environment that I'm coming from, small town, small thinking,
Hmm.
divorce. Oh my God, you don't do that. Certain things you don't do that. Behind the closed doors, everything is fine, but shh, don't tell people. What the religion is extremely strong aspect of life.
Hmm.
It's supposed to be your guideline, and we know what happened. Uh, about uh, telling the details. So it was difficult to break that chain and move on when you're realizing that, you know what, this doesn't work for me. If I'm going to stay with that way of thinking, if I'm going to stay um, and just simply keep all the doors around me closed, I am going to hurt myself. There is no other way. There is no future. There is no life. I need, very early in life, I had to make major decision about parenting, about being a mother. Very early in life, I had to make a major decision.
Yeah.
Why? Because I needed to protect at the time my child and myself, because I knew I was I'm a very practical person and I'm realist. Wanted to make sure that my future, it will be protected to a certain degree, that I'm not going to bring any more harm into
Right.
myself, into my life, and into the future of someone that I'm responsible for. So that was a big step that I have to tell you. I'm 57 years old right now. I was 25, 24 back then, and I am proud of myself. I'm proud of myself that I was strong enough to make that decision. Um, Never regret it. Never regretted doing that. Especially now. uh and keep going in life, keep going, and simply believing that, you know what, life cannot be, we have this one precious life in our hands. There's no way, no way that my life would have been only that, whatever was happening around me. I tried. There were marriages of convenience. That's why it's at the end one love, because when I was going through life, I tried, but they were not like, oh my God, I love him so much, I needed to get married to. I'm admitting that did not happen. It was self-survival. It was fight for survival. At the end, I found the one. At the end, I found my colors. And you can see how different the relationship started, how different, how it was based on different things than others. And I think the gratitude for having someone with different personality, it and realizing what's really important in life. I finally found that. Better late than never, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's absolutely. That's the thing I'm saying. You saying late, then listen, okay, so maybe 100 years ago, if you didn't find what you needed by the time you were 35, 40, you would have been a failure in life. But now that we live to 80 years old, 100 years old, it is quite possible that you stumble through life making mistakes, making decisions that may not be great decisions, things happening to you that it makes it difficult for you to actually get where you need to be. Recently they just said that we don't really complete adolescence until 35 years old. Psychologists are saying we're still teenagers up until the age of 35. Like we make a bunch of decisions the same way a teenage person would from a scientific point of view. They're figuring that out with us. So it's very interesting to me that basically a third of your life can go by and you still haven't like slipped into making sensible, intelligent decisions. I mean, you see a teenager doing certain, you're just like, oh, that completely makes sense. But the truth is, turns out that there are a lot of people who, up until the age of 35, are doing the same thing. So it is what it is. I mean, I get that. Do you feel as though each of the seven rings has its own theme? Because I sort of kind of saw a theme. Some of them, it's sort of, it seems like was duplicate. Sorry, but but most of them, it
I
looks like
love
you.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, like most of them it looked like you were doing one thing. And by the way, ladies, this is a steamy book too. There's something in there for the person who just likes to read something romantic. But this is also the kind of book where you're like, oh, can I see that in my life and then do something about it? Because the truth is, I'm not trying to say we old, okay? We're in our 50s, fine. You actually said it earlier on. But 30 years ago, 35 years ago, this world was a very different place for men, for women, for people of color, for whatever. It was a very, very different time. And so some of the things that you are willing to do nowadays would not have been, would definitely been looked down upon back then, or would not even have occurred to you back then. It's simply because it just wasn't done. It's not done. Nobody does that. That's basically what they would have told you. So it's very interesting to see like all the different ones. Do you feel like there are different themes to each one of the rings?
Yes, because each marriage, although not out of love, but there were different reasons why they happened.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, I wasn't go through life by okay, you look like you can give me what I need. So okay, let's do it. I never hurt anybody.
Yeah.
I never used anybody. I stood by the person. I did what I could to help, although my reasons were not purely out of love from the very beginning.
Yeah. Some of the, yeah. Well, everybody's
But there
looking for
were
love.
feelings afterwards when you were with
Yeah.
someone for a few years. You have to be really stone cold.
Right.
Not gonna say who, but when you decide to be in a relationship with someone, to be in a marriage, those feelings will exist.
Yeah.
But but at the end, and this is what everyone should be doing. I got married and I stayed with someone because I wanted to, not because I needed to. That's a
Okay.
huge difference in life. When you're with someone when you want to, not because you need to.
Okay. Okay. You just answered my next question. I was just going to ask you, what's the one truth that you think from this book that you wish you'd learned earlier in life? And I feel like that might be literally the underlying thing that just goes through it. It's not about what you need; it's about whether or not all the stuff. See, that's the tough part, man. You do want all the stuff to be in place, and the person seems to look great. In Jamaica, we say, "To see me and come live with me is two different things," right? That's what I saw happen, like over and over and over again in the book. I'm like, oh, mm, mm, no, no.
What are you doing? Why did you
Yeah,
do that?
no, no, no. It wasn't even like that. It was like more like because this. I've gone into relationships and realized like a month in, oh, oh, this is a mistake. It happens. It's just that I didn't have a kid to feed. I didn't have, you know what I mean? I got into it later on. It was so I could detach myself much easier.
See,
But
the
if
thing
you're,
is, I have to tell you, when I was leaving Poland 37 years ago,
yes.
this very smart lady gave me, she was a mayor of my little town at
Oh,
the
of the town of Garfunkel.
yes. She gave me an advice. Agnes, make sure that you never depend on any man. Very smart advice. Problem was, I was 20 years old, going into complete unknown. Excited as hell. Oh, yes, I can do it. I can handle the whole wide world on my shoulders. I left. No knowledge of language, culture, or anything. To start, now I was 20 when I made that decision. Took me time, just like a baby, to grow up, to learn, to make step by step, to learn to actually gain skills and knowledge how to be independent.
Or
And
how
it's
to
not
speak
easy.
the language, even. That-
Yes,
If you're looking for somebody, you're looking for an adventure where someone takes off from a place because they have, listen, they had to. The
I
person
had
had
to. I
to
had
move from where they were. Literally, the whole world is blowing up around them simply because, and this is, I think this is really important. Most women don't recognize how much power they have or how valuable they are, what they have. I'm sorry, that sounds creepy, but you know what I mean.
no,
Once
I
you
do.
start like 15, 16, there is so much power. There is so much value in what a woman has. It gets to the point where it makes trouble for them. And if you are not prepared for that, if nobody chose to prepare it, your mother, your father, your community is not chose to has not chosen to prepare you for it, to protect you from people who want to take advantage of it, you get to the situation where you literally have to run. You got to run. And what's worse is sometimes the danger is coming from a call inside the house, which is the madness. Madness. You say to yourself, oh my gosh. And so, as a man, it's easy enough for me to say, oh, you should have just gone. So, but the truth is, it's much more difficult, especially what are we talking about? Like Agnes, like 1980 something, 1970 something, a very different time. Like you couldn't just get up and. I mean, I think it was only in the 70s or 60s that women were even allowed to have credit cards in their own name without their husbands like signing over, whatever. It's a very different time,
Listen,
you
I'm
know.
coming from the society where this is not like you see teenage girls here. I left when I was 20. 20.
Mhm.
20-year old here, it's a grown adult on itself majority of times. Well, you see a
Right.
lot of them,
I'm
okay?
just saying they allow you to be an adult
Yeah.
here. Yes.
Mentally, I was just I just knew one thing. I wanted different things. I wanted to get out to simply start my life because I knew that something exists, something different, something better exists because I was
Yeah.
tired of whatever was happening around me and to me. So at 20, I was extremely naive because I was in a very sheltered environment, sheltered as of, okay, this is what you do, this you cannot even think about. Literally, you cannot even think about. This is the path that you have, and this is what you're going to. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. That's what it was. This is your
Yeah.
destiny. That you were told this is your destiny. It's like, I don't think so. I really don't like it. Too bad. This
Go
is
back.
what you're doing.
This is what you. Yeah. This is who you're gonna be.
You are under my roof. That's what you're gonna do, and that's it. And when you are at school, not working, what else are you gonna do? What escape do you have? There was no escape routes. And let me tell you, back then back then in Europe, when you were, first of all, you were an adult when you were 18. Till 18, if you run away from home, the police will track you down, brought you home, and hold you down while you're getting a whoop-ass from your parents. Okay, so that was not even possibility to go somewhere and start doing something. There was no possibility at that moment whatsoever to do that. So there
Okay.
is me going into this starting grown up life without knowing how to exactly be grown up. My very first time in my new apartment, when I was okay. I'm going to cook dinner on my own. I stood in the middle of the kitchen and started from crying because I had no idea what the hell am I supposed to do. I managed, but the first thing was overwhelming feeling. And then you would not just know just one goal. I need to be independent. I need to grow up in a hurry and I need to be independent. What do I have to do? And everything starts extremely slowly because when you are a new person in a new country, you cannot start working right away. You have to do everything by the book. You are like a guest in somebody's home. You're not going to start invading and do things, you know, with pressure. You have to abide by laws. So you
Yeah.
have to wait, and that takes time. And then you have trying to be productive doing other things. And that standstill was so overwhelming, so overwhelming, but you have to push through it because again, self-survival and a goal has to keep pushing you forward, and you do
Yeah.
things step by step. Nothing prepares you for reality of life, and life can be very cruel. Nothing for a person with slow self-esteem, not believing in herself, who was always being put down. Now, when you're finding an attention from someone, you are mistaking that for love.
Yeah.
Attention, um, gifts, sex, that's not equal love.
No.
No,
No. No.
it's a
Um,
path to gain what they want. And naive person is saying, "Oh my God, he loves me. He cares for me." And then you're paying for making those decisions.
yeah. Yeah. There's a flip side to this. There's a front side to it. I mean, you do have to look and say, what am I doing? How am I managing these thoughts that are coming at me? These people who are deciding they're gonna be my friends or be my lover or whoever it is. Very very. I mean, it's important to basically say to yourself, this relationship may or may not work out simply because we're not working together. But you could also see it as this is just not the person for me, because I saw sometimes just as you were meeting the people, I was like, oh, this is not the person for, only because I've known you, because I know you. And with some of the guys, I was just like, oh no, no.
No,
You know
no, no,
that
no, no, no.
that meme where they go, oh no, oh no, oh no, no, no. And I was just, oh no, this is not going to work out. And it's clearly, I mean, you were trying. That's what it really was. You're trying to do what you're trying to do. But I'm going to say to people, if you believe relationships are lessons and not failures, like everything that you're doing, like when you fail, if it's a lesson, if you think you are navigating divorce, dating, remarriage, self discovery, this is a good book for you. If you value honesty, growth, you had growth mindset before growth mindset was a thing. Very interesting. I like that. I thought that was great. You'll find that from there. Like you were like, oh, I gotta grow. I have to learn things. I have to do things a different way because I need to move forward. You were never saying, I'm not gonna go forward. I'm gonna sit on my laurels. There wasn't that. That didn't exist. You were always trying to move forward. Um, value, if you value honesty, growth, and emotional resilience, If you're looking for a meaningful, heartfelt gift, too, ladies, get it for yourself, get it for a girlfriend, especially during the holidays. You know, that's why I'm wearing it. Please, please, please check this out. It is, um, again, you can get it here at Agnes Amisano / publications. That's where the website is that has it. But you can also, I mean, you can get it at Amazon at this point, right? Are we at Barnes and Nobles already, or do we just
Not yet.
Amazon at this
Barnes&
point?
Nobles will be in February,
Barnes and Noble
speculating.
in February. Right now, it's in Amazon, and you can get it in hardcover. I got a hardcover, baby. You can get a hardcover. You can get it in paperback. You can get it on your Kindle. You can get it as an audiobook. Did someone do an audiobook?
It's after New Year.
Okay, that's after
Audiobook
you
is coming after New Year.
can't imagine you could. But I will tell you this: it's not like a long read. It's exciting. Every chapter has got something exciting happening. I don't know if you did that on purpose, but every chapter, something exciting is happening and moving forward.
Can I
Quite
tell you,
frankly,
my life was very exciting.
yeah, it was ridiculously hectic. I was like, and I was annoyed when I was done. I was really annoyed when I was done. In fact, that's why it took me so long, because every time I read it, I was like, oh my God, this thing is so great. Should I be writing down notes? And I don't want it to be over. So it took me literally, when I would sit down and read it, I'd go through 100 pages in like sometimes less than an hour. But the truth is, it's a great read. It's up and down, and things are always happening, and it's very exciting. If you're into that, then you'll enjoy it. Straight up, here's my prediction. Hallmark movie. It could be a Netflix series. Also, you know what's great is Netflix actually loves to have Polish stuff on there, so that would be the. But guys, this book. Oh, that's the other thing. It's in English, so you can get it in English. But she also put it in Polish. So if you read Polish, if you're a Polish person, some of the stuff in here will be very familiar to you. And she has a version of it that is actually in Polish that you could read as well. I think you'd enjoy it. I learned a lot. I learned a lot, not just about you, but about um, moving from one place to another and it's so interesting. I came to the United States around the same age you came to you came to this part of the world as well. And my experience was different because I guess I'm a male and I did not have a kid, like strapping down with a kid. But it can be rough here when you come to a new country and you don't know nobody, or you do know some people, but those may not necessarily be the people who you want to hang out with for whatever reason or whatever's going on. But yeah, great book, Agnes. Such a great book. Seven Rings, One Love, Agnes Amisano. Right now on Amazon, right now at agnesamisano.com / publications. Would you like to tell anybody anything last before we get
Well, I can let you in on a little secret.
secret?
Yes, I'm working on a prequel of the book.
Oh, I wouldn't think so. A sequel and a prequel, right? Yeah, so she's doing a prequel, which is great. And you'll understand why if you read it. You sort of kind of got to read it. Um, this book is not just about relationships, it's also about identity. You could write a whole book just about your identity. I'm reading it and I'm like, there's like three more books in here. You could write a book
We
just
save
about
that for
that.
Netflix. We save that for Netflix.
Just from a different perspective of who you are. I'm trying not to say everything, but who you think Agnes is and who she thought she was different from what she actually was, even though other people knew and were not saying anything. That's fantastic. But yes, Seven Rings, One Love by my good friend Agnes Amisano, now currently available at Amazon and will soon be available at Barnes and Noble as well. And you can get it at her website, agnesamisano.com/publications. Ladies and gents, hope you enjoyed. Bye
All
bye,
right.
Agnes.
Happy
Bye bye.
reading.
Yes, enjoy, enjoy. Merry Christmas.